Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Spider Sense Riding. My name is DJ, the three-wheel Can-Am specialist here at Motomember Select, the largest Can-Am Spyder dealer here in the U.S., located in Purcellville, Virginia. And you guys know the reason why I created this channel is just to educate the Spider community. It doesn't matter if you're experienced or new, just on my different tips, tricks, hacks, and overall product knowledge. And today, instead of doing a walkthrough or a breakdown of a specific model, I thought I'd just talk about some of the most common Spider buying mistakes that I've seen over the past couple of years. I've been going on in this industry for about 4.5, going on to 5 years now. I've learned a lot, I've gained a lot. I want to make sure I pass that information on to you guys. So today, I want to give you guys 6 common Spider buying mistakes and possibly how to avoid those. The very first one is going to be assuming all Spyders feel the same. This is not true whatsoever. You have 7 different models in the Can-Am Spyder lineup, from your F3 platform to the RT platform, and each platform is going to give you a totally different feel. Your F3s, you sit lower in that bike, it's going to give you more of a cruiser feel. Your feet are going to go forward. Naturally, your body's going to lean back, and that is the riding position or the posture that you're going to be locked in on while you're out there in the real world. On your RTs, on the other hand, you're going to sit on top of the bike. It's going to be like you mount it. It's going to give you more of a touring comfort feel. You know, this is something that has a little bit more wind protection on there. But again, 2 different feels for 2 different bikes. We can discuss bikes all day, from the colors to the specs to the accessories. But if you don't understand that each bike gives you a different feel, you're mistaking yourself, guys. So assuming that all Spyders feel the same is one of the biggest common mistakes that I have seen out there when customers are in the market or looking to purchase a Spyder. The second mistake that I have seen is a sort of a play off the first one, and that is not going to the dealership. That's a huge thing, guys. So actually going to the dealership, seeing the bikes, touching the bikes, smelling the bikes, tasting the oil. I don't know. I don't care. Go to the dealership. You're going to do yourself a world of justice if you do that. I understand that, somebody could be, a couple states away, a couple hours away across the country, and they don't have the ability to go to this specific dealership, but go to a dealership to actually physically see the bikes. At that point, you can actually feel the bikes when you sit on those. And again, that's a play off the first one. But not going to the dealership is a big mistake that I have seen a lot of people make, trying to do everything over the phone. It's not something where you can just order shoes right off of Amazon, and if it doesn't fit you, you just send it back. It's a lot more difficult when you're actually working with a vehicle that is registered in your state. So go to the dealership, see what the dealership is about, get the knowledge that the salesperson or the three-wheel specialist has for you, because it goes a long way, guys. But go to the dealership. That is just something that I have seen people try to avoid. They don't like working with people at the dealership, whatever it is. I know we've had our experiences in the past, but go to the dealership when you are looking at a Can-Am Spyder. The third mistake that I have seen people make, and this is the absolute biggest one and the one that I preach the most, it is not getting fitted for the bike. All of these bikes in here are tailor fitted. They fit you specifically. We all are a little bit taller than others. We're shorter than others. I have longer arms. I have shorter legs. Whatever it is, those adjustments need to be made depending on which bike that you're looking at. If you guys are familiar with the F3s, they have the most adjustment when it comes to the U-Fit system. You have different handlebars that you can accommodate for your riding position, and you have 5 different brake pedal positions. So depending on how tall you are, how short you are, when you sit on the bikes, you can make sure you get yourself adjusted. But again, if you're not going to the dealership, if you're assuming that all Spyders feel the same, you're going to miss out on this opportunity. And it's a huge one, guys. Get fitted for the bikes. I've said this example in the past, but buying a dress or buying a tuxedo without going to a tailor and getting measured is the same thing as buying a Spyder without getting fitted for it. Make sure you are fitted for the bike. I know some of us have got a chance to ride, a buddies, a friends, a family members went to the dealership to sit on a bike that potentially was stock, and you thought that bike did not feel comfortable, so you went to the next model. That just means that bike was not fitted for you specifically. So make sure you go to the dealership, make sure you see and sit on the bikes and feel them, and get yourself fitted for that bike. It's going to make a world of difference. The next mistake that I have seen is not riding the bike before discussing price. I understand that we have a budget in mind. We have a certain number that we're trying to hit. But if you don't ride the bike, you don't understand the value of what you're going to be negotiating or talking about price on. Get a feel for the bike in the real world. Make sure you like the bike first. There's been plenty of times where I've talked about pricing down to the exact penny, good to go, locked in. They come into the dealership and they ride the bike that we talked pricing on, and they did not like it. They didn't like the riding position, even though they were fitted for the bike. They didn't like it, so we went to the next model. And all that negotiation, all that price discussion went right out the window. So make sure you come to the dealership, you sit on the bikes, you get fitted, you test drive the bike to feel the real value of what it feels like, and then go ahead and talk about the price. It's going to save you guys a lot of time, a lot of frustration if you go down that road as well. But going to the dealership and getting fitted for the bike, going on a test drive, is going to bring more value than any quote over the counter, over the table, over the phone is ever going to do, guys. So go to the dealership, sit on the bikes, get a feel for them, go on a test drive, and then discuss pricing based on what you guys actually sat on, rode, got fitted for, and go from there. The next thing is going to be skipping the walkthrough or the orientation after purchase. So once you've actually determined which bike feels right, you got fitted for it, you went on the test drive, you loved it, you enjoyed it, you got pricing done, everything is good to go. Once you get your manual, once you get your spare key, go over the bike with the Can-Am specialist or your salesperson. It's going to save you guys a lot of time, possibly some frustration. I've even gotten phone calls 10 minutes up the road the next day, a couple hours after the purchase on, hey, where do I put the gas at? Or where can I find the battery on the bike? Or how do I even connect my phone via Bluetooth? Sometimes we get a little bit overwhelmed during the purchase process. It is an exciting time, especially when we find a bike for you, and this is a good time to do it. But once you make that purchase and you just skip out of here, you got to go home, whatever it is, you didn't have the chance to actually go over the bike with the salesperson or your Can-Am specialist, it's gonna hurt you a little bit. I understand that some of us like to play with the stuff on our own, but pick the brains of the specialist there while you're at the dealership. You know, that's a chance. Like I said, set up the radio, connect your phone via Bluetooth, understand the different ride enhancements between sport mode, eco mode, and then adjusting backrest and stuff like that. You know, pick their brains, because the specialist is going to pick your brains as well, just to make sure that you're comfortable. And that way, when you do drive out of here and leave out of here, you feel a little bit more confident. You understand the bike a little bit more. Of course, you can, digest your manual a little bit deeper, but you're going to get a little bit more knowledge out of the Can-Am specialist or whoever you're working with, because most likely they've been in this industry for a while now. They've been working with the Spyders, because it's not just an everyday two-wheel bike that you just pick up and purchase. There's a lot that goes into these Spyders, so make sure you pick the brains of your specialist or your salesperson. So don't skip over that demo or that walkthrough or whatever that whole ordeal when you actually get your keys and your manuals. And the very last thing that I've seen people kind of avoid, that is going to be not getting familiar with the service department before you leave out as well. You should always make sure you get introduced to the service department on a first name basis. See exactly who's going to be working on your bike, understand, the different service intervals, the maintenance plans, whatever it is, but make sure you guys get familiar with the service department, because they are the ones that you're going to call on the phone to make sure that everything is A-okay with your bike, to get you in on appointments and get you going from there. It's going to be better off for you and the longevity of your bike. Make sure you're a happy camper and a happy rider. God forbid you come into the dealership and you're waiting in the customer lounge for 4 hours for something that only takes half an hour to maybe an hour or so. But if you guys get familiar with the service department, understand that there are certain service maintenance plans or service periods that come up on the bike, or their intervals. If you guys can understand when, how booked out that specific service department is, you can kind of plan accordingly. If you know that there's a braking period at 600 miles and you anticipate getting 600 miles within 2 weeks, go ahead and get yourself on the schedule ahead of time. So that way, when your anticipated mileage comes up, you already have a scheduled service in the next couple of days. Just bring your bike in. They'll get you in, get you out, because we want to make sure we respect your time at the end of the day. But get yourself familiar with the service department. Ask questions over there as well. Of course, you can ask your salesperson or your Can-Am specialist, but actually going to the desk or the front office where the service department is, introducing yourself, get a little bit more familiar with how they do things here at the dealership. It's going to make a world of difference, guys. But purchasing a Spyder is an exciting time. It should not be stressful. It should not be frustrating. It should be a smooth process. So once you find out what bike you like, get fitted for it, you go on a test drive, you loved it, you like it, you purchase it, you get your manuals, you get your spare keys, you find a dealership that is willing to work with you through this process to make it fun for you. It's going to make a world of difference for you and the person that you are working with, guys. But again, that's just going to be 6 common mistakes that I've seen Spyder buyers make over the past couple of years of me working in this industry. So hopefully it helps out for you guys. If you guys are in the market or looking for somebody that's going to kind of guide you through this process, please reach out. Leave a comment if you had some good experiences with me or just in general. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.